today Donald Trump, as we know, officially becomes the 47th President of the United States and the oldest. This is going to be his second term in office, of course, and he's going to be the first convicted criminal, and as I say, the oldest president ever to enter the White House.
What's he really like? Joining us now from Washington, D.C. He's someone invited to the inauguration, a friend of the president, British businessman Damian Bates. Known him for 15 years, celebrating with him on Saturday night. So, very good morning again to you, Damian. You're excited, presumably...
Good morning, Susanna.
...about the return of your friend to the White House. Now, we have been inundated this morning with lots of people here, also excited, but, of course, he is generally not popular here in the UK. He's seen as a convicted felon. People are concerned about what happened on January the 6th when Biden, you know, got into the White House. Tell us what he is really like, Damian.
Well, welcome to a beautiful day in Washington, D.C. It's very cold here this morning, very cold. I'm from Scotland, and even I'm feeling the cold this morning. Well, Donald Trump is Donald Trump. He's an amazing guy. You talk about him being the oldest president in history. This man has more energy than people half his age. He never stops. If you saw him on stage last night, it was incredible to watch him. When he was dancing along with village people, it was fantastic. The atmosphere was electric. This man is on a mission. He knows it's his final term in office. He can't run again, so he's going to try and make this his legacy term, set the marker down for generations to come.
Is he a funny
I think in
man?
Britain, you know, I speak to people, you say... Sorry, I missed that, Richard?
I'm sorry, I thought you'd finished your sentence. I was just going to ask, what kind of sense of humour does he have in private? Is he a funny guy?
He is a very funny guy. He's very self-deprecating. He'll take the mickey out of me constantly, and I can take the mickey back out of him. He's very self-deprecating. He doesn't take himself too seriously at times. People find that very funny. And, you know, he's a very warm character. I've seen him with people, acts of generosity you wouldn't believe, that go under the radar. No, he's a really smart guy, and he's a very funny guy, and he's a very warm guy with the right people. If you're part of his inner circle or you're a friend and you're loyal, he's very loyal and very friendly back to you.
Is it true that he eats virtually nothing but McDonald's?
What a bizarre question. No, that's not true. He loves a good steak. He loves shrimp. He loves various things. I mean, he does love a McDonald's, that's true, but no, he eats all kinds of things.
If I can...
That's a very Richard Madeley question.
OK, so if I can add to that, Damian, is it true that he's never had an alcoholic drink? Because you've had dinner with him numerous times. Yeah.
I mean, I've had dinner with him in the White House, and you know, I've been offered wine in his company, and I've never taken it as a mark of respect for the man. No, he doesn't drink alcohol. I'm sure at some point somebody's offered him a glass of alcohol, but he's always told me I've never been tempted. You have to remember, I think one of his brothers, I think it was Fred, tragically passed away. He was an alcoholic, so there's a real danger there. And he said in the past, you know, I've got a compulsive nature. If I do everything, I do it to excess. So I think he steers well clear of that.
What are his weak spots? What are his weaknesses?
Oh, gosh. I mean, we've all got weaknesses. Well, that's a really interesting question. He's very driven. He never gives up. His resilience is incredible. Is that weakness? I suppose not really, but look where he's got to. Look what he's doing today. He's only the second man in history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms as President of the United States. That's an incredible achievement. You can't say the man's got many weaknesses if he's able to achieve that. Again, going back to what you were saying earlier, I think people in Britain would love some of that energy, some of that drive, some of that enthusiasm, something we're desperately lacking in the UK at the moment. We need people like him. We need business people like him. I was talking to some of the new ambassadors on Saturday, and these guys are business people. We need people like that who can do a good deal for the UK, what's best for Britain. We need people like that negotiating with us with his people over here, his business people. That's what we need. We need a good deal for Britain.
Is he curious about other people? Does he ask lots of questions?
Absolutely. All the time. Absolutely. From the doorman to the waiter, whoever he comes across, he wants to know their opinion on all sorts of things. I remember sitting down for dinner with him one day at his club in West Palm Beach, and he was asking me my opinions about the death penalty, the economy in the UK, what's happening in energy resources. I mean, he's just curious all the time about people. And as I say, he's never, he doesn't just concentrate on his political allies. He wants to know what everybody thinks. He's always asking questions. That's part of his drive. He just constantly wants to know more.
If someone's watching this morning and thinking you are completely whitewashing a president that millions of people did not vote for in America, and certainly there's enormous concern about, you know, amongst people here, how would you respond to the accusations that he's a misogynist, who's used some pretty unsavoury language about women and his interactions with them? He's a convicted felon. We've got a convicted criminal in the White House. He encouraged the January 6th rioters. Sadiq Khan, Mayor of London, has talked about the march of fascism. And also, you know, remember that debate where he slurred Haitian immigrants? He says they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. If you were an illegal immigrant who'd made your life in America and felt you were contributing, and you believed that there were going to be mass deportations starting today, you'd be pretty scared, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but he's fighting for America. You know, he's putting his country first. And I think if you look at who voted for him, I mean, he got an enormous amount of young people voting for him. Latinos voted in bigger numbers than ever before. He won a huge majority in terms of the Electoral College. He won the popular vote. That's democracy. Is he perfect? Of course he's not perfect. He'd admit that he's not perfect in perhaps one of his quieter moments. But, you know, this guy is fighting for his country. He wants to put America first. Who could blame him? I mean, goodness gracious me, wouldn't we like somebody who did that in our country, put our country first and fought as hard as he does, has the energy he does? I mean, we've got the same problems. We've got problems with immigration in the UK. We've got problems with the cost of living, problems with inflation. He's fighting with all his energy to do that. We have a Labour government that's not even able to start tackling those issues. I would love to see some of that energy and verve and get some business people in to help him drive, or in our country, drive our economy forward.
Damian Bates, enjoy your day. Thank you for getting up, especially early for us on Good Morning Britain. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fascinating insights there into the real president who will be inaugurated today, 5 o'clock our time this afternoon, midday over in Washington.